Welcome to Live with Ninon. Is that what it's called? Welcome to Ninon Live, and of course with Joe-Mania. This is a new show, so I'm getting all muddled up here. So how about saying Ninon Live with Joe-Mania? How does that sound? Is that better? Of course, this is Joe. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing just fine.
The reason we're starting this show is because Joe, you're new in town,
Yes, I am.
and he's a mania.
Yes.
How cool is that? And he's got a guitar with him. Now, you're very, very well known in the singing arena, but you've never really ventured into Vegas, and I don't get it.
Right. I've been to Hong Kong, Sri Lanka. The reason I ended up in Vegas was Trini Lopez that worked with Sinatra. And as everybody knows in Vegas, that the Rat Pack was dominant here. It was like their playground to play
Definitely
music.
their playground if you know who the Rat Pack are. Do you know who they all are? Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin,
Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr.,
And Trini was on the same label.
and
The
Trini
Pureza
Lopez
record.
was there as well. So
Mhm.
now we've got together with this new show. Hey, what do you think about bringing in this new show? You and
I think
and a guest. We're gonna have a guest on, by the way, in a little while.
it's absolutely incredible for the fact that I told her 1,027 times that she's very vibrant. She's very pretty. You can see that. And she got the blue eyes. Blue eyes, oh Ninon. That new song.
That's just what he makes. He does this all the time. He leaves a message on my
I
message
did, huh?
machine, and he's singing. You're always
Yeah.
singing. Do you wake up singing?
I do. I wake up singing and I go to bed singing.
Well, you're never going to stay in my house then.
Oh, darn it. I'll stop singing just for that one.
That one time. Oh,
Time.
how do you know it's going to be one time?
Oh, that's right. It could be like many times. I'll sing an album at
I
her
have
house.
a great guest room, so don't
Yeah.
get any ideas out there. I'm
Yes.
just talking about a
It's all
guest.
business.
It's all business. Did we say business or did we say monkey business?
Yes.
Well, you just say yes.
It's all great.
There you
And
go.
she has great perfume, I must tell you, because you can't smell. Well, probably you can, because watch.
Woo!
There.
Cool.
It just
Cool.
felt great.
Now, you promised me you're going to play something.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of something? What is it? Is this going to be a song or is it going to be something? What is it?
It's going to be a song that I usually write all my own songs. I've written over 800 songs, but I was sitting over there
Yes.
and I was just
Watching me.
watching Ninon and her guest, her fabulous friend.
Yes.
And she mentioned something about, Ninon always says great quotes. She said something about live for today. And then she goes, wait, morning's already gone. So currently mid-afternoon forward is positive. So what does that have to say? The life, everybody's life.
Yeah.
How long are you going to live? Who knows?
We don't know how long we're going to live. We can't anticipate that. But we can live for the moment.
That's what I want
This is like a moment. You know, one of my favorite sayings, which you'll appreciate this, is a moment in time. Because to me, everything is kind of a bit of a moment in time. It's all time. You know,
It's true.
there's time gone, there's time now, and there's time ahead. It's all about time. And it's also, remember this one, it's all about timing.
Time and timing.
Time and timing.
And with all that said,
What's the song going to be?
looking at Ninon, in my life, I'm going to do a cover tune. I don't usually do that, but I just feel
Go
like
for
singing
it.
it.
Go ahead. Go
The
for it.
Beatles in my life, and it goes like this. There are places I remember all my life. Some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, but some remain. All these places have their moments for lovers and friends that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them, but in my life, I love you more.
I love that saying. I love you more. When somebody says to you, I love you,
There we go.
and you say, "I love you more." I just love that saying because it's so beautiful.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
you're gonna put that down. You're gonna
Sure.
hold it, or what do you want to do with it? Don't throw it away. 'Cause it's
No,
pretty
no,
cool.
I need to hang on to it. It helps me
Does it?
communicate with you by singing to you. Because she likes it. She told me.
I do. I love it. I love it. Are we going to have a guest?
Yes. And the guest could be anybody because we're spontaneous, you and I.
Yes.
I met her one mid-morning, and it was very unique. Here's a great 10-second story. I knew who she was. I saw her pictures, and I sat next to her in church, actually. And I just saw the back of her head, and I was whispered, "Okay, sit right here, sit right here." So I sat down, and she was here, and I went, "What's Ninon?" And her and I kind of just hit it off.
Hit it off.
Yeah, like friends.
And then we decided, like, we always decide because entertainers decide a lot of stuff, and entertainers are always fulfilled. And it's just like our producer. Our producer is the same way as we are. We're always fulfilled with doing something new or creating something. So we've kind of created this show, and it's going pretty, doing pretty well. Live with Ninon Joe-Mania.
And here's a little backstory.
Ninon Live. I always get it around the wrong way. It's Ninon Live with Joe-Mania.
Elvis was king of pop. So Elizabeth Taylor did this announcement that she liked Michael Jackson at the time. She says, well, if Elvis is king of rock, I, Elizabeth Taylor, going to name Michael Jackson king of pop. With that said, about 2 weeks ago, Ninon proclaimed and went, I'm Ninon, and I'm going to start calling Joe in Vegas Joe-Mania.
I did. That's what I called him, Joe-Mania.
So it came from her.
So Joe-Mania is his name. And he does have a last name, but we're not ever going to use that. But we might sometime. I'm not sure. But in the meantime, we're going to have a guest on. You know this young lady. She's absolutely fabulous. Her name is Janet Barnbrook. I love the Janet part. I'm not sure of this Barnbrook. Janet.
All right.
She walks on. This is an amazing woman.
I almost feel like the third wheel here, darling.
Well, you are the third. You are the third wheel, but she's the third great wheel.
Yes.
This is Janet Barnbrook, absolutely amazing lady.
Thank you so
Very pretty.
Isn't she lovely?
She's very pretty.
And Janet is very familiar with Las Vegas because you lived in Las Vegas, didn't you, for some time?
I lived in Las Vegas for 42 years.
42 years?
Wow. Yes, 42
So
years.
you arrived when you were like a little baby.
When I was a baby, yes.
You were a baby.
I came at a time where it was very exciting, I thought, for me personally. And when I say exciting, the town was exciting. You'd go into these big casinos, and there were lounges, or two
but they
to
had
three
performers in
and
the
they
lounges.
had. Let me tell you, the first time I came to Vegas was at the Riviera, and we stayed at the Riviera. I was with a friend, and the first lounge, which you just walked into, you just up the step and went to the lounge, was the Fifth Dimension with, oh my goodness, it escapes me. The lady, the Fifth Dimension.
And the lady.
The lady.
Oh, Diana Ross?
No.
Fifth Dimension.
No, Fifth Dimension. Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
And
I
couldn't believe it. And then when I did radio, I had some red carpet events, and she was the first person coming. What is her name? I know it so well.
You'll remember.
Yeah, I will. It'll come. And
so you used to have a radio show then?
Yes. Yeah.
How long did you have the radio show for?
Well, I did 2 or 3. I had one in Palm Springs, and I went to LA, and that I did for about 1.5 years. But I have to tell you, I loved it. I learned so much. I worked with really excellent people, but you have to devote a whole life to it.
Yes.
It wasn't 8 hours, 10 hours a day. I would go in and do the overnight news, and I'd do the morning show from 5 to 9, and then you had to get your guests ready for the next day.
How did you like being in the radio, which meant you weren't on camera?
I was on, but we did a TV show.
You did TV as well,
yes,
so was TV, because she's too pretty, isn't she?
Thank you, darling.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I loved it, but did I want to do that 24 hours a day, every week, every month? At that time, no, because I kind of missed out on a few things.
Yeah.
And maybe I should have been more...
aggressive?
Not aggressive, but I should have been more ambitious. Let's say that, and I wasn't.
Did you
I,
get tired of the scheduling to have to be at both places, or is it more just tired of the whole thing of doing it, radio and TV?
well, I
and...
wasn't tired of doing it. It was a challenge,
Okay.
especially when you had to do a talk show starting at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I used to ask the pay. This was years ago, before all this social media.
Yeah.
I would ask the guy that dropped the newspapers if he could drop it at 4 o'clock. I would get to the studio and I would pay him to bring these, so I could at least. I mean, we had
read the news.
we
and
had
read
telexes
things, yes.
coming through in those
Yeah,
days.
but you could see what was going
Yeah,
on,
I
or
had
what
to
has
be-
been going on.
because people would get on that show who were very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, but it was great for the brain. Let's put it like that. It was good because I was
Well, you'd
forced.
be good at that. I can
I
just
was-
see you doing that.
I was forced willy-nilly
Yeah, yeah.
to learn as much as I could.
Yeah.
And whereas I love to learn, but I probably would
Because
not.
we're going back to the days of when, when Vegas was we're going back maybe.
Well, this was in LA. This was later.
This was in LA.
Yeah,
but
later.
also in Vegas you
Oh.
started it. So sort of kind of, this is what Vegas and LA used to be like. And it was amazing how it used to be. It's completely different now because it's social media, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's,
So-
I did love Vegas when I first came, and I loved it for years. As I said, you go in and there were lounges, and also in the next Marilyn McCoo.
Marilyn McCoo.
Oh,
Marilyn
yeah,
McCoo
yeah.
You know,
was, and that was the first woman
uh-huh.
that I interviewed on
Yeah.
the red carpet, and I said,
Wow.
"You were the first lady I saw in Las Vegas," and you know what she said to me? "You must have been at the Riviera." I said, "I was."
was, that's where
So
you
we
were.
chatted for a long time, and her PR was saying, "Come along," and then the next lounge would be the Platters.
Yeah, the Platters were there. And then
Wow.
you had Louis Prima.
Yeah, I
you had
mean-
Keely Smith. You had all these.
Oh,
this is
my-
before your time, I guess.
Yeah, but I loved it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you come to Vegas in those days? Then did you come and see?
No, I actually didn't, but I was raised with albums like Buddy Rich,
God, yeah.
Count Basie,
Yeah.
Stan Kenton, Sinatra. You know, I was
That's-
little.
yes,
My dad had that
exactly.
playing constantly.
Yeah.
So now Joe is now trying to get himself, a gig here, several gigs.
Right.
Right.
Well,
And
you're
you've got
very
gigs.
talented, Joe.
Oh, well,
very
thank you.
You're
talented.
very talented.
Thank you.
It's unfortunate in a way because we have so many talented people, musicians, entertainers here, and they don't have the venues
No.
to appear in.
Well, it's
Right.
these 4-wall things now. You've got
Yeah,
to pay for this.
you've got to pay.
There's a 1-wall, a 2-wall, a 3-wall, a 4-wall.
For-
And there's all expensive, and you don't have the people that want to come in and spend that, $100 a ticket. You can't charge someone $100 a ticket.
Well, I don't know
Right.
if it's that much, is it? Is
Well,
it
it's,
$100?
they've all put it up. I know for sure it's $50.
Well, you have because they've got to now
Well,
pay
they've
the
got to
hotel
pay
for the room.
So
Right.
then the drinks as
And,
well.
and
all-
it's sad because we do have so many talented, and,
People.
and yourself too. But it's not like the old days where there were so many venues for all these talented musicians.
It's different
you have,
now.
You have people who in town who everybody knows their name, and I'm sure that they are still appearing. But it's so
It's
it's
different
so
now.
very.
So
well,
are you going to come back to Vegas, or are you going to live here?
well,
What are you going to
well,
do?
I've always been a gypsy, as you
Yes,
know.
I know you're a gypsy.
I've always been a gypsy. I've been
She's
on
Gypsy 1, I'm Gypsy 2.
I left school. I left
You're
school.
Gypsy 3.
Left school at 14 and a half. I wasn't quite 15.
Oh,
In
wow.
those days, it's too
Didn't-
long.
yeah,
You
didn't
leave
really
at
matter, yeah.
15.
Mhm.
And I went to France. I went to.
Wow.
I went all over, and the holiday camp,
Yes,
and I
yeah.
would come back.
Woodlands Holiday Camp.
Yeah, and Pontins
Pontins
and
Holiday Camp.
So, and I loved it. I loved being a gypsy.
But now you can still be a gypsy and you can still go out there. It's just in a different age bracket that we're all in.
Yeah,
You're not there yet.
I'm not sure I can be the gypsy I used to be.
Well, you could try it and see if it works still.
yeah, well-
It probably would. You've got
Well,
the
I
personality.
think in a way, it now becomes a lot more challenging to keep constantly traveling. I still like to travel,
Yes.
and I certainly will be traveling through the summer, going to
Yes.
Spain
Yes.
and England and so
Yeah,
on.
you've always liked
Yeah,
traveling.
but I think I would like to find something that I really would love
So
to
you want to
do
get your hands on
Yeah.
something that you
and
want
have
to do.
a proper routine,
Absolutely.
and then travel, at different times. So I think that's what.
What about
that's
you?
I'm about like you in a different way. I noticed in the interview with these two great girlfriends talking, Palm Desert.
Yes.
Okay, I lived in I got divorced in 1998, and I moved out to Palm.
And you never married since?
No, but I dated a lot.
Well,
Just,
I'm not surprised he dates a lot. Look at the looks of him. I mean, come on, right? Pretty good looking. What do you
He's
think?
very good looking.
oh,
But
thank
what
you.
you were saying about Palm Desert and you.
I lived in Ironwood Country Club up Portola.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not far from me. On Country Club Drive there?
Yes,
Yeah, I live off of Country Club.
I loved it.
It's about
was neat to hear.
7 minutes from there. It's beautiful there, isn't it?
I love it.
In Palm Desert, one of the most beautiful, manicured. I mean, you go and even my daughter, when she come down, she went, good grief.
Beautifully kept up.
It's like the
Beautifully
Rodeo
kept up.
Drive of
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood, but
Yeah,
there.
Paseo,
Yeah,
you know.
that's where I lived, right up that street.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Is it where I want to live forever? No,
No,
of course
no,
not.
of course not. No.
I-
No,
I-
none of
I
us
like-
want to live anywhere forever.
I like, I still, even at my age, I like a fast pace.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
I like fast
I think
pace,
we
yeah.
all like a fast pace. On that, calling a fast pace, I think we're going to have to close out. We've had a fabulous interview with Janet and learned a little bit about Vegas. And how did you like it? So you learned
I
a little
loved
bit
it,
about
yes.
it. Yeah.
I love to see the connection of these two. When I'm sitting over there, they have a great chemistry, you could tell. And I'm
Now
sure
we
you're
have a
feeling.
connection
Oh,
because now we've got our own
yes.
show.
Yes. And
Ninon
her.
Live with Joe-Mania and our lovely guest. And we shall
Thank
be
you,
back
darlings.
next week with another guest. See who we can come up with, shall we? They're all waving. Who's we going to come up with? Thank you for watching, and don't forget to catch us out. I think this will be playing on Vegas Live with Ninon, and I think it will also be on YouTube, Vegas Live with Ninon. So you can check us out there and see how you like. You can give us a few inputs on what the show is like. This is a new show, right, Joe?
And we have a tail out song that we
What's
just
this? What's the
made
tail
out.
out song?
We go, it's time to say goodbye.
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 Ciao.
I love it. Love it.